Urgent San Francisco 49ers fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest San Francisco 49ers updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, 49ers fans, buckle up because today we have some explosive news that's shaking up the NFL landscape and could have huge implications for your favorite team. If you're as passionate about the Niners as I am, you know that every offseason brings a mix of excitement, speculation, and sometimes, surprises that can change the course of a franchise. Well, folks, what I'm about to tell you might just be one of those surprises. So, let's set the stage. The San Francisco 49ers, coming off a remarkable season where they made it deep into the playoffs, are sitting pretty at the quarterback position, or at least, they were. Brock Purdy, the young, dynamic quarterback who took the league by storm last year, is still the man under center, at least for now. Purdy, for those who may not be fully tuned in, emerged as a phenom after taking over for Jimmy Garoppolo mid-season, and he led the team with poise and precision. His story is nothing short of inspiring, an underdog story that captured the hearts of fans around the league. But as any NFL fan knows, the quarterback position is always a hot topic, especially as we approach the offseason and prepare for a new season. Now, here's where things get interesting. Last week, we heard from Clay Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, and he made a pretty bold statement. He said that the team still sees Mac Jones as a starting NFL quarterback. That's a big deal, especially considering the context. The 49ers, of course, don't need a starting quarterback right now because they're perfectly fine with Brock Purdy. But, and this is a big but, that statement opens the door to all kinds of speculation about potential trades, roster moves, and how the Niners might be planning their future. Meanwhile, across the league, a different story is unfolding. The New Orleans Saints, a team that's been trying to find stability at quarterback for a while now, just had a huge shakeup. Their starter, Derek Carr, who signed with them last offseason to much fanfare, suddenly retired out of the blue. Yes, folks, just like that, retirement. No injury, no drama, just a decision that caught everyone off guard. It left the Saints scrambling, because their current depth chart is pretty thin at the quarterback position. The top quarterback now is their rookie second-round pick, Tyler Shaw. A talented player, no doubt, but still very much unproven in the NFL. The Saints also have Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener, but neither of those guys has the experience or the veteran presence you'd ideally want leading your offense. And here's the thing. The Saints might see this as an opportunity. Do they decide to roll with their young quarterbacks, develop them, and maybe even tank, knowing that next year's draft is loaded with quarterbacks? Or do they look for a veteran presence to help stabilize and contend this season? That's the million-dollar question. And, of course, Mac Jones enters the picture. If the Saints are serious about competing, they could be interested in acquiring a veteran like Jones, a guy with a good head on his shoulders, who's shown flashes of potential and could serve as a solid bridge quarterback while their young guns develop. Now, you might be wondering, what do the 49ers think about all this? Well, it's no secret that San Francisco has been strategic about their quarterback depth. They signed Mac Jones this offseason to a 2-year deal, which tells us they're looking for a reliable backup behind Brock Purdy. Last season, Purdy was fantastic, but he also faced injuries. He had 2 significant ones that caused him to miss 2 games. The Niners know that longevity at that position is crucial, especially in a league where injuries happen all the time. So, having a dependable veteran like Jones makes a lot of sense for their roster. But let's think about the possibility of a trade. If the 49ers could ship Mac Jones to the Saints for a mid-round pick, it might be a win-win situation. Jones could get a fresh start and a chance to be a starter, while the Niners could use that draft capital to bolster other areas or even develop their younger quarterbacks like Tanner Mordecai or Curtis Rourke. Rourke, in particular, is an intriguing name. The team drafted him just a few weeks ago, and he's currently recovering from a torn ACL, but he's expected to be ready sometime next season. He's got the arm talent and mobility that could develop into a solid backup or even a future starter if given the right time and coaching. Of course, I don't expect the 49ers to trade Jones right away. They value him as a solid insurance policy, especially with Purdy's injury history. But nothing is off the table in the NFL, and a mid-round pick for a veteran quarterback is pretty attractive, especially if it helps them free up some cap space or acquire additional assets. Plus, the league is always in flux, and teams are constantly evaluating their options based on their current needs, draft strategies, and long-term plans. Now, let's take a quick pause here for a moment. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest San Francisco 49ers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. What really makes all this speculation so fascinating is the broader context of the NFL landscape right now. The league is in a bit of a transitional phase, with many teams looking to rebuild or reload for a deep postseason run. The 49ers, with their talented roster, are certainly in that conversation. They have a formidable defense led by Nick Bosa, one of the best pass rushers in the league, and a versatile offense that can adapt to various game plans. Their offensive line has been solid, and with young stars like Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuel, they're always a threat to score from anywhere on the field. But the quarterback position remains the linchpin. Purdy proved last season that he can elevate the team, but injuries always loom in the NFL, and the Niners need reliable depth. That's why they signed Mac Jones, a guy who has shown flashes of brilliance but still needs consistency and confidence to truly flourish. The possibility of trading him, especially if a team like the Saints offers a mid-round pick, makes a lot of sense from a roster management perspective. It's all about building flexibility, depth, and preparing for the inevitable injuries that come with a long NFL season. Speaking of Purdy, he's been the talk of the town ever since he stepped in last year. His story is the stuff of legends, a late-round pick who became a starter and led the team deep into the playoffs. Fans love his poise, his leadership, and his ability to make plays under pressure. But we all know the NFL is a league that demands consistency, durability, and a bit of luck. The Niners are undoubtedly looking to bolster that position, whether through internal development or strategic trades. Now, let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. The 2024 NFL Draft is expected to be packed with quarterbacks, and teams are already eyeing the top prospects. From the reports I've seen, players like Caleb Williams and Drake May are generating a lot of buzz, and some teams might prefer to wait and develop a young QB rather than rely on a veteran like Mac Jones long-term. But in the short term, having a veteran option can be crucial, especially in a league where the margins between winning and losing are razor-thin. The Saints situation is a perfect example of this. They're in a position where they need to decide whether to go all in with their young quarterbacks or bring in someone with experience who can help them compete immediately. Mac Jones fits that mold perfectly, not too expensive, with some starting experience, and still young enough to develop further if given the right environment. For the 49ers, this entire scenario creates interesting options. They could keep Jones as a reliable backup and see how Purdy performs throughout the season. Or, if the right trade comes along, they could move him to a team in need and use that draft capital to strengthen other areas, maybe even bolster their secondary or offensive line. The NFL is all about chess moves, and smart teams will always look for ways to maximize their assets. Now, I want to bring in some insight from Grant Cohn, an expert who's been covering the 49ers for over a decade. Grant's been at the forefront of NFL coverage, especially when it comes to the Niners. He's seen it all, the highs, the lows, the trades, the draft picks, and the coaching changes. His perspective is always honest and rooted in deep knowledge of the team's inner workings. Grant emphasizes that the 49ers front office is very strategic about their roster moves. They're not just looking to fill holes, they're planning for the future while trying to maximize their Super Bowl window. He points out that the team's ownership and coaching staff are very aware of the importance of quarterback stability, especially after last season's injuries. That's why they brought in Mac Jones, a veteran who can step in if needed, without disrupting the chemistry of the team. But Grant also notes that the NFL is unpredictable, and if a trade opportunity arises that benefits the team long-term, the 49ers won't hesitate to make it. Looking ahead, the key for the 49ers will be balancing their immediate needs with their long-term vision. Purdy is the guy they believe can lead them deep into the playoffs, but they also know that injuries and unforeseen circumstances can change everything in the blink of an eye. Having a reliable backup, whether it's Mac Jones, Tanner Mordecai, or Curtis Rourke, is essential. And if they can do a smart trade for a mid-round pick, that could give them some added flexibility to address other critical areas of the roster. So, fans, what does the future hold for your 49ers? Will they keep Mac Jones, or will they explore the trade market? How do you feel about the team's quarterback depth right now? Are you confident in Purdy's ability to stay healthy and lead the team, or do you think they should make a move to bring in more veteran experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing your opinions, and remember, your voice is so important in shaping the conversation around our beloved team. And of course, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and inside info on the San Francisco 49ers. This team is always in the news, always evolving, and as fans, we're lucky to witness it all unfold. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our 49ers through every twist and turn of this offseason. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.